And you know the sun's sitting fast, just like they say nothing good ever lasts. Go on now and kiss it goodbye, but hold on to your love because your heart's bound to die. Go on now and say goodbye to our town, to our town. Can't you see the sun sitting down on our town, on our town? Good night. Now I sit on the porch, watch lightning bugs fly. I can't see too good, I got tears in my eyes. I'm leaving tomorrow, but I don't want to go. I love you, my town, you'll always live in my soul. And you know the sun's sitting fast, and just like they say, nothing good ever lasts. Go on now and kiss it goodbye, but hold on to your love because your heart's bound to die. Go on now and say goodbye to our town, to our town. Can't you see the sun sitting down on our town, on our town? Good night.
Good evening and welcome to this weekend review. Tonight's stories include Lion's presentation to grade 7 and 8 class, Burgeo Academy month in assembly, Halloween night. These stories plus the BBS Playbill, Off the Rack and more coming up after this.
Communication is the beginning of understanding, and understanding is the basis for problem solving. USC Canada believes communication should know no borders. A farmer's field in Ethiopia offers innovation for old problems in Nepal. A community seed bank in Bangladesh sparks ideas for one in Mali. All over the developing world, Canadians in global partnership, finding solutions that work.
On Friday, October the 29th, the Burgeo Lions made a presentation to the 7-8 class. The grade 7 and 8 class took part in a peace poster contest sponsored by the Burgeo Lions Club and Lions International. The theme for the poster contest was Give Peace a Chance. Jim Marsden, chairperson of the Boy and Girl Committee, presented the 18 students who took part with certificates. 3 students were awarded a certificate and a cash prize. For his poster, Zachary Closure was awarded the $10 third prize. Jeremy Ann took second place and won $15. For her poster, Bethany Ann won first place and $25. Bethany's poster will now go on to the district level. If it wins there, Bethany will have an opportunity to travel to the United States for the final contest. Each month at Burgeo Academy, they have a month in assembly. Mr. Penny welcomed all students to the month in assembly. At these assemblies, students are given information and reports on the happenings at the school during the month as well as any upcoming events. Mr. Penny congratulated Cody Randall on winning first place at the track meet. The Respect team are looking for suggestions for Spirit Days to be held every second Friday beginning November the 19th. Nikita Green, president of the Student Council, gave a report and told everyone who the class reps were. Mr. Penny reminded students that report cards are going home soon and that the students needed to work a little harder to improve their grades. He also mentioned the recycling program. The program is going well. However, if everyone brought in just a few recyclables, it would raise more funds for school programs. Mr. Penny also reminded students of the bike policy. Bikes have to be parked once they are on school property. Also, during a month in assembly, there's an opportunity for students to entertain their fellow students and teachers. This time, Tyson Dumford and Rebecca Young did 2 songs.
some odd reason I get one last wish, and every time I wish for this, take me fast or take me slow, I don't really care how I go. In the daylight or in the dark, just don't let me die of a broken heart. The kind of pain that you just can't take, send a strong man to his grave. There's not a pill that can give you rest, or fill that hole deep in your chest. So take me fast or take me slow, I don't really care how I go. In the daylight or in the dark, just don't let me die of a broken heart.
The primary K-5 students did their annual Halloween march during the assembly. Members of the Student Council gave out prizes for the best costumes to elementary school and high school students. There were 3 winners: Kelsey Grant, dressing as half angel and half devil; Alicia Vatcher was dressed as SpongeBob SquarePants; and Kayla Krant was a smiley face. With all that completed, the students were dismissed for the day. Halloween night, October 31st in Burgeo was rainy, windy, and cold. Halloween day actually dawned sunny and clear and warm. However, by noon the rain clouds had gathered, and by 1 p.m. it was raining. Many thought it would clear off towards the evening. However, it was not to be. BBS volunteer Alicia Vatcher took our camera to her home to film some of the trick-or-treaters. Most people saw a small number of children. At my house, for example, we saw 8 children. Alicia saw approximately 45 trick-or-treaters. Halloween night went out with heavy rain and at times with thunder and lightning. Despite the weather, we hope the children got lots of treats.
Put my lovely hair.
I know you're taking us.
Thank you.
Happy Halloween.
Oh look, there's another SpongeBob.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween.
I look make it look good.
Oh, this?
Cool.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Hello. How's you, Scarecrow?
Thank you. That's fun.
Yeah, it's Scarecrow. Hi. I'm on BBS. I'm on BBS. I said tripping your ears. I think.
You say.
Happy Halloween.
The recording. Awesome. Get it. Come in.
Here you go, Zoe.
Trick or treat. Happy Halloween. Thank you.
Stay tuned for more of This Week in Review coming up after this.
Never again the horrors of war. I'm Cliff Chatterton of the War Amps. Hollywood glamorizes war. Through our Never Again video series, we tell it like it was. But we have another responsibility, to do everything we can to avoid global conflict. Oh yes, a military deterrent if necessary, but we must teach younger generations about the need to prevent war. How? Through Operation Legacy.
As members of CHAMP, we've had a close bond with the war amputees, ever since we were kids.
We've learned about Canada's military heritage
from those who are actually there.
Now we can pass on that message through presentations, videos, and our own website.
Operation Legacy isn't just about remembering.
It's commemoration with a message.
That message? Never again.
It was our war. It is their legacy.
The Community Safety Net, along with the RCMP and businesses in Burgeo, sponsored a personal safety book for children ages 9 to 12. Most businesses around town was approached by Rosette Power to help support this project. The RCMP promoted the book and supported the book by delivering it to the school personally. Constable Scott Goss went to the Burgeo Academy on October the 28th to talk to the students about the book. Each student got to take the book home and it was theirs to keep. The book, which is called Personal Safety for Kids, deals with safety in the environment of a child's life. Inside the cover of a book, there is a list of businesses that gave donations towards the books. BBS, for example, gave a donation that covered 10 books. For that donation, BBS is known as a 1/3 partner. Other 1/3 partners include Burgeo Pro Hardware, Eric's Home Eating, Gillette's Motel, and Scotiabank. There were 10 other businesses called supporting partners. Because of the generous donations of all these businesses, students in Burgeo, Francois, Ramia, Grey River, and Grand Brent were all able to get a book. The book is divided into 9 different parts. There is safety at home. Under this heading, there are items to watch out for, like appliances, chemicals, etc. There is one on internet safety. For each part, there are different headings, thus giving the students a wide variety of topics to choose from. If you would like to have more information, there's a website you can visit, www.communitysafetynet.com. We congratulate all the businesses in town for getting involved in the lives of our children. We have received several reports that the Caribou are back on the Burgeo Road. On Wednesday of this week, we took our cameras in over the road to see if we could spot any. Here's what we saw. Now over to Mayor Hann with the council report.
Good evening. Burgeo Town Council, we held our regular board meeting on Wednesday, November the 3rd. We had 5 members in attendance and discussed a number of items. The meeting was fairly short compared to some meetings that we have had. However, I'll start off with the water treatment plant. We've come to the point at the council now that in dealing with the contractors, the insurance companies, and so on and so forth, it appears as if we get one runaround after the other. Given that, I drafted a letter, took it to council, and got support from council to submit the letter. Rather than paraphrase or summarize, I can give you the details of the letter, and then you, as the population and the town of Burgeo, can judge for yourself. But it's getting to the point where we as councillors don't know which way to turn. Anyway, the letter was written to the Minister of Municipal Affairs, the Honourable Jack Byrne, and it reads, Dear Minister Byrne, I am writing concerning our water treatment plant, which was jointly funded by the province, the federal government, and this town. On June 15th, 2004, our treatment plant had a fire, which completely destroyed the ozone plant and resulted in water and smoke damage to the other parts of the plant. Since June 15th, the plant have just sat there, power disconnected, and continues to deteriorate. I will not go into all the details since the fire, other than to say the Burgeo Town Council is very displeased, frustrated, and fed up with the contractor, the subcontractor, the engineers, and the insurance companies. You can get the complete picture on this project from your own officials, Mr. Dan Hines and Mr. Cyril McCarthy. Mr. Minister, it is the request of this council that your government, in conjunction with the federal government, apply whatever pressure is at your disposal on Brook Enterprises, the main contractor, Durapro Incorporated, the ozone subcontractor, K&D Pratt, the equipment suppliers, Atlantic Engineering, project engineers, Steers, which is Brooks Insurance, Dominion, which is K&D Pratt's insurance, and ING, which is Durapro's insurance. I would like to point out that the project was not completed, the plant was not commissioned, and the town had not accepted operation at the time of the fire. The town accepts absolutely no responsibility for this fire. Since the fire, all we have seen is finger pointing and everyone trying to deny responsibility for the fire or replacement of the plant. Your prompt attention will be greatly appreciated. The people of Burgeo have patiently endured the runaround we have been getting. And that letter was copied to Calvin Parsons, our MHA, Bill Matthews, Sandy Murphy of Brook Enterprises, Josh Durapro of Durapro Incorporated, Atlantic Engineering, K&D Pratt, Dan Hines of Municipal Affairs. So that's where it sits right now, ladies and gentlemen, and hopefully that the governments who have got a bigger club to wield will be able to get this thing started. Another item which you've heard from time to time is the new building regulations. Well, our new regulations now have been gazetted and became law. Now, in conjunction with that, a committee was formed at our meeting consisting of Deputy Mayor George Reed, Councillor Cyril Warren, and the town clerk, town manager. And all I got to say about this is, you know, that this gives the town more autonomy in building. The way that Burgeo is laid out, you can't ordinarily follow rules and regulations the same as you would in a town or a city which is being engineered and done out, like we say, Mount Pearl and the newer parts of St. John's and Corner Brook and Grand Falls and areas like that. So this committee now will be visiting the sites when someone wants something built. So here's what's required of you now if you want to build a shed or anything, any construction of any kind. You must get an application into the town council. Now, council usually, no, not usually, council always meets for their regular meetings on the first and the third Wednesday of each month. So therefore, if you want to get something done, you should get your application in a couple of days before our meeting. What happens then, this committee visits the site and you put in pegs to show the corners of whatever your construction is going to be. This committee will go and look at the site, come back to council, and make a recommendation whether to approve the application or not approve the application. But you must remember, you can't just come in, a meeting is going to be 7 o'clock Wednesday night, and bring an application in 3 o'clock Wednesday afternoon and expect that application to be dealt with. It will be dealt with, but it'll be another couple of weeks before it will be dealt with. So the onus is on you. If you want to get prompt action, you're going to have to get your applications in time so that this committee can go look at the site. After the application has been granted and construction starts, the town manager will then be making site visits. And the reason for those site visits is to see that construction is in accordance to the permit. So therefore, if you get a drive in 4 pegs to build something, then when you get your permit to build, you go and you move it and you build it somewhere else. The town manager will see it. He will issue a stop order, a stop work order, and it is quite possible that you will have to beat down what you've got done and start all over again. And you know, it's kind of ironic that while we were discussing this in council, every month we get a newspaper called Municipal News that comes out from the Newfoundland Labrador Federation of Municipalities. And in this particular issue was a quote of 3 court cases which had went to the Supreme Court where councils had used their discretion. And it was brought out and the municipality won each of these court cases. And the Supreme Court came down and really reiterated that council's discretionary power is quite legal, it's binding, so therefore, you know, it's routes we don't want to follow. But you can save a lot of aggravation for council, a lot of aggravation for yourself by complying with what is required in order to get a building permit. Regarding the kiosk, this tourism place up there on the intersection of the Burgeo Road and the Trans-Canada Highway, it's come in for some vandalism. The BDDB is sort of stuck as to what to do with it. Council definitely made their point quite clear that they're not going to be responsible for the building. We've made some suggestions to BDDB as to what they might do with it. And if anyone has got any thoughts on what should be done with that building, it can't just sit there unoccupied, deteriorating. You know, if worse comes to worse, you go up and burn it. But it's too bad for something that, you know, started out to try to promote tourism down here in Burgeo. Maybe the business community can play a role there. I don't know. We got some thoughts on it. However, council is certainly not going to get responsible for it. The council's got enough on its plate right now and just cannot take on more that could only be a drag and an hindrance. And to bring it to town, that seems to be a solution, you know. Oh, don't leave it up there, bring it down to Burgeo. But council just asked the question, Bring it to Burgeo to do what? You know, there's no point in bringing it down unless we've got a clear-cut plan of something that's going to be a benefit to our town. So if there's anybody out there got some thoughts on that place, I'm sure you can drop off your suggestions, write it in, phone it in, or so on. And council would certainly facilitate putting your suggestion in place if it warrants that it's a good suggestion. We had an application, well, certainly we had several applications with regard to buildings and so on, but one of interest maybe, we had an application from the Canadian Rangers to reactivate the old shooting range. It appears to be a good application they got there. It's a good proposal. They plan on, you know, turning it into a proper shooting range, not what it was, but to develop the site into a proper shooting range that will be used by the Rangers, by the RCMP to do their shooting, wildlife and so on and so forth. And, you know, they would only use it probably, well, we say maybe a dozen times a year. And they tell us in their application that it would be available to the general public of Burgeo and the area. So it appears to be a good asset for the town, a good asset for the area. There have been many attempts at trying to get a proper range in Burgeo, and you know, it only gets about halfway there. So hopefully that this is one, you know, got federal government behind it, got the Canadian Rangers purse behind it, and hopefully it will come to reality to be a good shooting range. With regards to the recreational funding, as you know, council budgets each year so much money towards recreation in the town. Well, last year we faced a situation where we had several requests. However, when the requests came in, all of council's funds had been committed to other projects. So therefore, what council has done this year, we've set a date whereby all applications must be in, and after that date, well, if you've missed the boat, you've missed the boat. Now, letters will be going out to organizations that in the past have made applications to council for funding, notifying them. But if we should miss some, I'm just reiterating it right now, that the date is November the 30th. Anybody who in the year 2005 feels they will be requiring, not anybody, any organization that's got a recreational idea in mind that may need some funding. It don't mean you'll get it. It don't mean you'll get it all, for sure. But anyway, if you even want to be considered in the town council's disbursement of recreational funds, then you must have your request into council by November the 30th. So there it is. Have it in by November the 30th. After that date, you know, it's just going to be too late. Then a considerable part of our meeting then dwelt on the part of a town clerk, town manager position. And I must say, it wasn't an easy job. Councillor Warren, Councillor Grant, and myself sat on the committee and have been there for well over a month now, screening applications and so on and so forth. And we did have the assistance of Mr. Jerry Billard, who was a great asset to us. And I publicly would like to thank Jerry for the assistance that he gave the town in this matter. And I'm very pleased to announce to you that your new clerk town manager is Mr. Blaine Marks. I want to congratulate Blaine and wish him the best in his endeavors. It is anticipated that he will take up the job maybe the first week of December or the middle of December. At the same time, I would like to thank any of the other candidates. We had some good candidates. It wasn't an easy task. You know, it's one of those things, you know, when you got one job and you've got 20 plus applications, then one person is going to be pleased and there's going to be 20 that's going to be disappointed. But I must say, I think that the committee worked well, and our choice was unbiased. Absolutely no favoritism was shown there anywhere. And I must say, I feel that we have made the right decision. If it's not, well, that's what happens when you do things. You sometimes make mistakes. But I've got every confidence that we have made the right decision and that Mr. Marks will be up to the challenge. Another thing I would just mention at this time is the flushing of lines. I know you're tired of it. I'm tired of it. We're all tired of it. But it's one of those necessary evils that we must do. Mr. Meade has a plan put together that will see that flushing clue up in the week to come. That's this week. The areas for flushing will be put on Burgeo Broadcasting. I would suggest to you that you look it up, and if flushing is going on in your area, take precautions so that you do not sustain any damage to your appliances in your home. So this will be over in, well, 5 days from now, and I really and truly hope that we do not have to flush again anymore this year. It is my wish that even though the ozone plant may not be back right away, that the filtration part of the plant will be on stream before too much longer, at least. And even with that on stream, it would certainly stop the necessity for all of the flushing and so on that we've had to do here lately. And while I'm on the water subject, I just say one more thing. It has been noticed. The operator can tell from the water flow and so on that as of October 15th, approximately, the taps were starting to run again. You know, this is absolutely ridiculous. When you start running your taps so your water line don't freeze in Burgeo, the middle of October, come on, let's get with it. You know, people in Labrador don't even run their taps on the 15th of August. There's no need of it. So, you know, just think about it and guide yourself accordingly. Thank you very much and good evening.
Stay with us for Off the Rack and the BBS Playbill, all after this.
It takes community to heal a village. In northern Mali, USC Canada works with local partners to find community-based ways to ensure mother-child health, food security, and jobs. Canadian agencies are helping to renew and strengthen communities throughout the developing world. This means greater opportunities for global villagers. Canadians in partnership, finding solutions that work.
Off the Rack. This week, as we scanned our tape rack, we came across a tape of fire safety with the kindergarten class as they practice stop, drop, and roll. Let's look back to October 1995.
Cover your eyes.
Cover your face. We don't want your face to get burned. Yeah.
There, that's it. Excellent. Very nice work.
What about you, Jake? Tell us what you're going to do. Yeah, Jake knows what.
There you go.
See, he rolls over and he'll smother all the fires so his clothes don't continue to burn, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, here you go.
Fireman saved. Good thing the fireman was there.
You want to show it down?
BBS Playbill. Tune in on Tuesday for a rebroadcast of Pansy's Garden. Try your luck on Wednesday by playing LOL TV Bingo. Join Pans in the Gang for 2 stories, a craft, and lots of fun on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on Pansy's Garden. And I'll be here again next week with This Week in Review. For This Week in Review, I'm Marie Rose. Good night and God bless.